Awesome. So looks like we are live. Okay, perfect. So, Assalamu alaikum everyone. My name is Sabah Kalsoom, and I am the Community and Partnerships Lead here at Work Nation Space, located at Valencia Town, Lahore. Today, we are having this very great event with Raheel Bodla, who is a success coach. So before going over to the event, I would like to thank my collaborators, especially Pakistan Tech Summit, which is a 1 month long virtual conference having more than 100 plus speakers and 50 plus sessions around the world, which gives very much value in rebuilding Pakistan. And also, I'd like to thank Hijad Labs and some other collaborators such as Startup Grind Pakistan for having us for this event. And now I would like to thank and invite my guest speaker, who is Raheel Bodla, a success coach. And what I love about his work is that has a very vast experience in the startup ecosystem of over the world, and he has been coaching multiple startups. And for a detailed introduction of him, I would like him to come over and speak a bit of him.
Thank you very much, Sabar. It's such a great honor to be here with you. And I would like to convey my gratitude as well, especially first to Global Pakistan Tech Summit. I think Arzesh was here last year, and that's how he started. And really admired the passion of this team, Global Pakistan Tech Summit, Ijad Labs, Work Nation Space, and all the collaborators. That's exactly what we are trying to do here. So we can connect with people, help them grow and contribute. So absolutely, such a great pleasure and honor to be here. Thank you, Sabah.
Yeah, so I would love for you to have a detailed introduction of yours, because I suppose some of the people here might know you and some of them might want to know you. So yeah, please go on.
Thank you. That's awesome. Let me share the screen. Share screen. Awesome. I hope you can see the screen here. Great.
Yeah, it's like, yeah.
Thank you. So on my side, it's 20 years of work experience. Started with undergrad in aerospace engineering. Like I went to high school at Hassan Abdal Cadet College. After the aerospace engineering at NUST College of Aeronautical Engineering, that was Pakistan Air Force Academy, I got an opportunity to work in Pakistan Air Force for 10 years. I was a squadron leader there, and I was very passionate to study at Harvard. Got that opportunity for 2 years. Then we lived in Montreal in Canada, in Toronto area in Canada. And I was very passionate to be in this MIT program. They select 40 professionals from all around the world, and was lucky to be one of them. Tesla was actually partnered with the school, and that's how Tesla moved me and my family from Boston to Fremont, California, which is the Silicon Valley where I'm based since last 7 years. In Tesla, got an opportunity to lead the Model X assembly line for $250 million, saved $11 million for the company, and then joined a startup company and got an opportunity to grow that startup from $4 million to $16 million. Currently, this is what I love doing with my passion journey of coaching, and that gives the fulfillment that I'm looking for. So I'm working with a lot of startups, business owners all around the world, in US, Canada, in Dubai, Saudi, Pakistan, China, India, Singapore, Philippines, some big companies, some small companies, a lot of startups, like amazing folks, talented people. So it's my gratitude to work with them, to collaborate with them, and then a lot of creative strategies that we work on together. And let me stop screen share here so we could be back here.
So
Awesome.
amazing! That was such an amazing introduction. Like for young folks like us, it's very much of an honor for us to like have a conversation with you and learn things from you, because you have a very vast experience in the industry. Yeah.
Thank you for your kindness.
Yeah, so I would like to start with the fireside chat and talk
Sure.
about the role of coaches in Pakistan. So, first of all, I would like for you to explain what's the main difference between mentorship and coaching, because in Pakistan, the culture seems a bit more inclined towards mentorship. So, I would like for you to differentiate between the two.
Right, that's a very good question, Sabha. We need both in our life. We need mentors, we need coaches. There's a little bit of difference because I've been on both sides. I've been a mentee, like seeking out. I still remember like my 10 years of work experience in Pakistan. I was reaching out to a lot of people where I wanted to go. Like I used to reach out to a lot of Pakistani people who were in Boston, in Harvard and MIT studying there, and I would seek their mentorship. So, like a mentee and a mentor going in that direction. So, in mentorship, especially, mentorship is free. Like we are seeking out and we are reaching out to someone to ask advice, and so because we want to do something similar. So that's what mentorship is. Coaching is not free, it's paid for. It's an engagement, a formal engagement that we do. However, in coaching, my journey has been a journey of coaching, and through that I got three more benefits which I could not get in a mentor and a mentee relationship. And those were like, number one was in terms of clarity. Like I had 10 different mentors, they would tell me 10 different paths. As a mentee, I was confused that which would be the right one, what should I do, which one to choose. So clarity, that's the first one. The second one was in terms of sustainability. Like I really loved one of the mentors, and then I wanted to engage with him again and again and again. He didn't have time for me because like this is not something he does for the full time. He might have like maybe half hour every month, but that was not, like that was too little for me because I needed a complete direction and a hand holding. So the second part, the first one, clarity. The second one, the sustainability part. And the third one, accountability. I could not hold any of my mentors accountable and say, sir or ma'am, this is what you told me and this is what you expected me to do, but it did not work for me. So the accountability part is was not there as well. But with my coaches, definitely it's we get the clarity, we get sustainability. We are on the schedule like every week meeting with them, and there's a lot of accountability both ways as well. Like if I'm not doing the work, my coach will say, then you don't need me. Like literally, you could do whatever you want. Or then accountability is on both ways, and we get a lot of results. Like literally, this changed my life. I believe in coaching. Left such an amazing high tech job for coaching. So we have a lot of emotions. We have a lot of skin in the game, and we are getting a lot of results.
Yeah, so thank you for this insight, because there are I also believe that there are a lot of time constraints when it comes to mentorship and coaching alike, and then mutual accountability is a big thing because that's important for anyone's growth. So thank you for that. So now I would like to ask you that when it comes to mentorship and coaching, especially in the digital ecosystem and in the startup ecosystem of Pakistan,
Yes.
what do you think should be the right criteria to look for the mentors or for the coaches? Because there are a lot of coaches in around here, and so what is the right criteria to choose a mentor or a coach?
Absolutely. That's such a wonderful question, Sabah. And that I think that would support or that would probably go along with the previous question as well. Like in terms of a mentor, I'm reaching out to someone who has probably done what I am intending to do. Like I wanted to go to one of the top university, or I wanted to go to one of the top company in the world. I had not done that. Somebody else who was already working there could guide me and give me an advice or help me do a little bit of hand holding. In terms of coaching, like those three things, the clarity part, the sustainability part, the accountability part, I think the startups and businesses, they need both. Like an example would be a startup that I'm working with. So the person who is the startup founder, he is already subject matter expert of that area. I have not done that before. However, I have worked on so many different multiple things, like in Pakistan, US, and Canada. Like so that person brings in the subject matter expertise of exactly that startup, what he's doing. I bring in the business management and the coaching side. And with our collaboration, with our work every week, once we meet, we get a lot of results. So that's how the coaching part works. In case of mentorship, it could be because literally I would say we should have a lot of mentors and coaches too. Absolutely. Both are necessary. So in terms of mentorship, it would be like, for example, Sabah wants to go for higher education somewhere, like having a combination of mentorship and coaches. Or Sabah is working in a startup. Then in that case, she could have both of them and then choose. And I think the normally the mentors are the people who have exactly done that, and that's why people are reaching out to them to ask for those kind of results. Does that did that answer your question?
Yes, it highly does answer my question, but I would like to ask about the domain expertise. Like
Yes.
when, for example, you are advising a startup, I'm part of which is IN. So
Yes.
where does the expertise should be seen? Like what should startup founders see in a coach, that the coach is expert in my domain, or does only the business part matters?
Absolutely. That's such a great question. And if I could, let me see if I can share the screen here as well. So that's a very good question, Sabah. And that is for that, for example, like IN, the startup that we are talking about. So in that case, what happens is that the founder already has the subject matter expertise. However, then I bring in the coaching and the business management. I have little of those expertise. I'm not an expert of virtual reality. However, do I understand? Yes. So leading a business of $250 million, like doing all those, like growing a startup from 4 million to 16 million, absolutely I have the capabilities to serve them as a business coach. So however, for subject matter expertise, Ain could have lot of mentors, could have a lot of mentors in which they would seek out to them and they will say, okay, here's a gaming startup and they are doing something really incredible, and our strategy could be very similar to a gaming startup, or our strategy could be very similar to a virtual reality education part or any other part. So having a combination of both, I think that from my experience, that is something that brings the result. In addition to that, these are the 7 areas, especially in terms of coaching. Once we are working with the startups, we work on a business plan and market positioning. How do we want to position ourselves? Marketing, sales, operation, finance, customer success. And in all these 7 dimensions of business, a lot of work goes in the mindset and strategies. Like the mindset comes in here too. So that's how coach and a mentor and coach and or a mentor would connect with the startup to work with them. And please tell me if I could not answer some parts. So definitely would love to. Let me stop sharing.
Yeah, no, thank you for sharing that slide over here, because it gave the overall picture on what the mentorship or coaching looks like and how they connect to the startup. Yeah, so
Yes.
I would like to tell our audience here that you can ask us any questions that you want over the Slido. This link is in the description, but if you didn't see the link, I can tell you that it is linktr.ee/worknationspace, and then you can go over to Ask Raheel and you can ask us any questions that you would like, and we would love to add your questions over here. Yeah. So going over to the next question, I would like to ask you where does the Pakistan lie in the overall international ecosystem of the world? Because you have been in USA for a long time, and then you have worked at Tesla, and then you have coached like multiple startups around the world. So where does the Pakistan lie, and how do you see it in future? Yeah.
We see that the future looks very bright. Literally, there's a lot of talent in Pakistan in regards to these talented folks that we are working with. We are connecting with them all the time. And like, I see you're very active as well. Like, I've been active in a lot of these communities or circles, especially in which there are a lot of Pakistani startups. And I think that there are a lot of opportunities. Pakistani startups, they get an opportunity to physically come to Silicon Valley for 3 months, interact with so many, like our all the friends that we just talked about. like Global Pakistan Tech Summit, Ejad Labs, they're doing a wonderful job getting the startups to the Silicon Valley, get them immersed here and go through that experience, being in startup grind, connect with a lot of Google startups in Silicon Valley and so many other. So there's a lot of opportunity of learning. And with the talent that Pakistan has at this point in time, we all think that the future looks very bright. Like a lot of we yesterday with a friend, we were going through a lot of these top funding. The VCs have started funding. They have started considering Pakistani ecosystem to a level that they would say, "Wow, this is amazing investment. Let's do this." So that's how the future looks for. In terms of, I think the other part of your question was, how do Pakistani startups look in terms of comparison with the startups in the US or maybe the startups in Silicon Valley? So I think I mean, a lot of the people who probably have studied in the US and they went back to Pakistan, work with the startups, they have a very good idea. The purpose of the purpose of university is to serve industry, as I've understood. Purpose of university is to serve industry. People you have been they have been to like good schools in the US, they have returned back to Pakistan, they are currently working in startups. They bring that intellectual curiosity, that professionalism in regards to. That's why, like, overall, with that hand holding support, all the Pakistani startups, they are going up and up. So that's how the future looks very bright.
Yeah, so future looks very bright, and I've seen that there is a lot of things going on in the startup ecosystem of Pakistan, and incubators, accelerators, VCs, and a lot of co-working spaces like ours, Work Nation
Yes.
Space, is putting a lot of efforts in bringing entrepreneurial folks and freelancers on a single point, and then having a platform for them to grow. So I would like your insight on what's the role of incubators, accelerators, and co-working spaces, and how do you see their role in the digital Pakistan?
That's a very good question. First off, let me express what Work Nation Space is doing. That's really amazing, and that's what the role of co-working spaces and startup accelerators and incubators come in. So, Saba, we talked about like a mentor and a mentee relationship learning. We also talked about like coaching relationship learning. A third one, which is very important, which exactly what these startups in their co-working spaces, in their accelerator and incubators, what they're doing is peer learning. I'm a startup founder, you're a startup founder. We hang around together. We are both learning from each other. Like I am reaching out to Saba and I'm saying, Saba, you have an amazing startup pitch. I don't know what to talk about. Like I get on the stage and I have no clue. I just go there and say whatever I feel like. No, that doesn't work that way. That's how I did. I had my peer learning. That's what I was trying to do. No. So we write our script, we rehearse it so many times, like we do it hundreds of times, and then exactly since we are doing it again and again, like we become that persona who is presenting that to the VC or to the other stakeholders and talking about believing in ourselves. Like that's how comes in. Like what comes to my mind is a very interesting study that they did at MIT, especially in the Sloan School of Management, in which there were startup founders and they were introducing their startups. They were pitching to business stakeholders, and they were wearing a gadget on their arms. And with the help of that, it was not the idea which got the highest rating. It was not about the something like really out of the box. It was the person's own physiology and focus and language of mindset, the way somebody really believed in himself, herself, talking about to the people, using those emotions as the medium of success, using bringing forward that passion. That is something what was rated the highest in terms of people rating each other, and also the gadgets recording all those analytics. So that's how things come in, and that's where the peer learning comes in. That's where we interact with each other two startups or multiple startups, that okay, how you are tackling this problem, how are you reaching out to for funding, how do you approach that, how, so all these different 7 dimensions of business that we talked about, like business map and market positioning and marketing and sales and operation and finance and customer success, there's a lot of peer learning that goes. And these co-working spaces, these incubators and these accelerators, they're doing an excellent job in that.
Yeah, so I do believe that in a startup there are a lot of touch points, and collaboration, of course, creates magic. And so the role of co-working spaces and incubators play a major role in that.
Yes.
And we have a question on Slido that should one go highly innovative when it comes to startups? Like, should one focus on high tech, or does it not matter in today's world? So, what's your take on that?
Thank you. My take on that is that one should go in the idea that he or she really believes in, that they're really, really passionate about one idea that they can risk their life on, they can risk their life investments on. That is the one idea. It may be like the top AI, artificial intelligence, machine learning, or edge computing, or any kind of that idea, like involving high technology, or it may not be the very high tech. It could be coaching. Like a lot of my friends said, Raheel, you're stupid. Like leaving such an amazing job, and like, what are you going to start coaching? Literally, and this is the third year, like we have been bringing forward some amazing results. And now those people, those friends of mine, they say, yes, right, we'll believe in you, because it gets to where does the co-founder, he or she, has their emotions, in which direction. That is the idea that you should pick on. No, it may be the out of the box, the best innovative idea, or it may not be. It may be an idea, do what you love what you do, so that you can go way ahead and sustain it beyond the normal circumstances. So that would be my message to share with everyone.
Yeah, I guess it connects to one of my questions, which I had in mind, that a challenge for youth, because in Pakistan, I've seen that whenever there is a certain technology that is considered hot, like there has been an era of AI, and now there's VR and startups. So there's a lot of challenge for youth to follow which one, to consider which one to follow. So I
Yes.
would like your insight on this. Like, how do you advise young folks to focus on things and choose what to prioritize on?
That's a very good question, and let me relate my experience through it, Sabah. Like I was going through very similar like reflections, that what should I be doing for the lifetime, and I do the same activity with our startup founders too. Like number one, understanding where the passion lies, what am I really passionate about, and number two, getting that passion to the level of effectiveness. Effectiveness does not mean that I myself say that I am effective. No. Let my friends and family and all the other people that I have served, I have worked with in a professional relationship, let them say that Sabah, you're really amazing in doing this. Then that is how the passion gets to the level of effectiveness that people need it, and you are doing something really amazing. And number three, then getting that idea to the level of sustainability, so that people should pay us for doing something that we are passionate about and we are effective at doing. Effective means that it is giving them the result in the industry, it is giving the other people, it's helping them professionally. So passion, getting that to the level of effectiveness, and then pushing through sustainability. The third step is the hardest, the pushing through sustainability. So that part would be that's something that I would suggest. That's how it may or may not be the top idea or very innovative. But then other people will tell you, especially in case of you, Sabah, they will say, Sabah, these were different activities that you were doing. However, I find you this one activity out of the other 7 activities. You were really amazing at doing that. Other people share with you the effectiveness part. And then you follow that because you're already passionate about it and it's effective, it's helping people, and then you're making a profession out of it. So that would be the best approach. That's how people can sustain it.
Yeah, thank you very much for this advice because I have a lot of young folks over here who contact me on like daily basis. Like they are confused being students, like what should they follow, because there are a lot of skills that are selling and they are confused about its scope and what should future look like. But I think it's important for them to experiment on things that they find
Yes,
interesting, because unless they explore, they won't know what is for
absolutely.
them. Yeah,
Absolutely, you're right. Because
yeah.
once they're going to try it for some time, maybe a few months, like 6 months, maybe a year, and then they would know that they are passionate, other people telling them effectiveness, and then pursuing that for their lifetime to be very happy about it.
Yeah, so I would like to add a question here that since you have been living in the US and been working there and now with coaching startups from the similar location, so what's your take on moving to abroad or living in Pakistan? Like, should one go for opportunities in the international ecosystem, or should one stay in Pakistan being a patriot?
Right. The patriotism doesn't cannot like in this global age, the patriotism cannot be restricted. That who lives here or who is because being part of a lot of different communities in Silicon Valley and our focus all the time, getting some results is helping back home. So helping Pakistan would not have geographical boundaries. Like personally, if somebody asks me, Raheel, I I would love to enjoy the best of both worlds. I literally want to be in Pakistan, travel 3, 4 times out of the year. Like I think 2019 was one of the lucky year that 3 times I was in Pakistan for a good amount of time, and then I live in Silicon Valley, so I was back here, so traveling back and forth. I think especially because of the global age, like putting blinders on and putting geographical boundaries would not be a very prudent idea in regards to somebody saying that you could be patriot only if you live here. I think that idea is outdated. In any case, like people right now, we are working together, we are hosting this webinar together, so there are no actually boundaries except for the boundaries we have inside the mind. This is what I learned working on my own limitations. And that's how I could understand where my coaches helped me that, Raheel, you are thinking about that this is a limitation. You actually don't have it physically, like around yourself. From your humble beginnings, still you could do something really amazing. So to this point of the global versus local, I would say even if we force it to be local, everything that we are doing is actually has gone global big time already. Like anything that happens in Lahore or Pakistan elsewhere, it gets to me in Silicon Valley exactly the same very moment the way it gets to you. My heart and my ambition, aspiration, my emotions are exactly with the people. Exact, and we need both. We need people who would be physically living in Pakistan as well. Like had an opportunity to work with a lot of Nustian folks, being lucky to be part of the Nustian founding team, one of the co-founder in the US alumni. And we came to know that probably within 2 years of graduation from NUST, which is National University of Science and Technology in Pakistan, students leave Pakistan, they go abroad either for higher studies or job within like 2 years. This is one of the top, there are so many other good universities in Pakistan, some of the top universities. So definitely that's how it has been a trend. As you're asking, a lot of people, they would go, maybe they go for higher education and come back, or maybe they go and work elsewhere and then come back, or maybe they're not coming back but still they're actually contributing to the country. So I think that this idea of being physically here or there doesn't matter. This is my own personal opinion, but like we do that. Like virtual is the way to go. Like this virtual space give me an opportunity to look into my business model during this COVID timeframe and understand that, Raheel, you don't have to drive to these small businesses and startups in Silicon Valley. Then you cannot scale it. The result is right now we are working with these 9 countries because virtual is the way to go. So does that answer that question?
Yes, thank you for a really good insight on this, because I do believe that there is a lot of networking going on in Pakistan's ecosystem, and network with people from around the world, especially from Silicon Valley and from the locations which are considered highly good for the digital era. It's been working for Pakistan, and there are a lot of things going on, and yeah, so we see that future is surely bright.
Yes.
So here is a question on Slido for us, that being a student in an like being an undergraduate student, should one focus on getting a job, or should one go for startups or higher studies?
Um, if someone is planning to go for higher studies, my humble suggestion would be, in between 2 university experiences, have some experience of industry. I have experienced that the purpose of university is to serve industry. This is what I have learned through my experience going through universities and serving the industry. Because if we go, like a lot of people approach and they would say, oh, you have done bachelor's, so why not in one go, just after the bachelor's, take an admission in master's and just get done with it? Nobody gets done with anything. We have to be a lifelong learner. And especially if you're planning one of the top MBAs, or if you're planning to be one of the top schools, you cannot get there because you need to have an experience of the industry. So I think that clarifies and answers one part of the question, that should somebody go for higher education? Yes, absolutely, they must go. I would strongly suggest everyone should be, after the undergrad, they must be completing their master's program. Where should they go abroad? Absolutely, why not? Like if they get an opportunity, they should go in one of the top universities of the world. Otherwise, there are so many other top universities within the country too. Whichever way you can optimize your family circumstances, financial and everything. By the way, a lot of those are limitations. I mean, like once we open up our own limitation, that's how we can go global, we can go beyond and still choose to be within our country back home, and travel back there and do whatever we feel like. So between the undergrad and the master's, highly recommended would be having some work experience, not a back-to-back bachelor's to master's. And then for that one, like where to have that work experience? Should that be in a big company or a startup? That's the next thing. Okay. So it could, personally, I have done both, and I would suggest having both is something really, really amazing. Working in a big company will give us an idea how to scale operations, like how to, if I had not worked in Tesla working at a huge scale of that $250 million, I would not have the clue. It was just like that, I had a lot of empowerment. Like I learned a lot from my humble situations, literally being in those meetings, like driving those millions of dollars. Like I, that gave me some responsibility and a lot of learning to go through. So that could only come by working in a big company. However, if did I want, like I actually chose to work in a startup. Why? Because like then that startup experience gives us an experience so that we could do something on our own. We could start on our own. So my suggestion would be like having 3. Yes, you should go for higher education. Absolutely. Why not? You must be doing your master's. Should you work in a big company? Absolutely. Why not? What's stopping you? You must do that. Should you continue working in a big company for 20 years or 10 years? That's your own choice. If you ask me, what should you do? You must work in a startup as well. So if you have the higher education, you have worked in a big company, a good time frame would be like 2 years, 1 to 2 years. If have you worked in a startup, 1 to 2 years will give you a lot of leverage and will prepare you for you to drive your own startup. So does that give a clarity?
Yeah, it does, and it's this question is very relevant to me because I myself am an undergrad and I graduated last year, and now I'm working. I have been working with startups, and now I'm leading a community at Work Nation. So this question is very relevant and relatable to me to choose what to do in future.
Awesome. Excellent, Sabha.
Uh,
What you're doing is really amazing.
Yeah, thank you for that. And now I would like to ask that how COVID-19 has changed things for you because I've seen that a lot that was coming in like 10 years in Pakistan, going from physical to virtual things. COVID has obviously accelerated that process. So how has it changed things for you? Like how is the coaching? How does the coaching looks like now?
It has changed everything for the positive. And let me share something very personal here, Sabha. Especially during the COVID time frame, like 2019 was tough, like, and then like for me starting establishing the business, and 2020 was tough because of the COVID. And then I had a knee injury and I had two surgeries, and then I was on the bed for 6 months in 2020. Especially going through all those experiences, virtual was the only way. Still, with being on high pain medicine, still I was doing some of the really amazing meetings with these businesses and startups. So that gives so much clarity that virtual is the way to go. Like anyone who wants to meet, absolutely anytime in the real time, we have different time zone going on, different countries. We can exactly like the way we are meeting right now. That I mean, that's so easy for anyone. So definitely, I think especially it helps our country. It helps Pakistan in such a strong way. We have amazing engineers. We have amazing software developers. We have people in our software area, software industry, and so many other things. Our like what we can offer to the global workspaces all around the world, that has been going up and up and up. So I will be a strong proponent that virtual is the way to go, and definitely for example, even like in local meetings, I don't have to like drive from here to Mountain View to Palo Alto in California, like an hour out from where I live. Why? Because like it's more productive. Let's meet, like we do meet in person too. I love that. Being a people person, make friends really quick, would love that. However, the productive meeting that we are having right now, we could do it right away rather than spending like 3 hours in driving. Why do that?
Yeah, so I see that COVID has been a hard time for you too, and you had a lot in that. So it's good that things are better right now. And
Yes.
yeah, so I've seen that COVID has changed things for a lot of us, and co-working spaces have played a major role in this because when it comes to work from home, a lot of distractions have been happening, and I've seen that co-working spaces have played a major role in bringing productivity at one point and give an office like space to people and to have them
Yes.
collaborate and work at their end. So I would like to ask your insight, like how do you see the future of work and remote jobs? Because a lot of things are happening, and there is a lot of uncertainty in the future of work. So what's your take on that?
I think that all these virtual jobs, which the industry is offering, I think that's something very positive, and they're really, really helping. Right now, especially in the US, like if we talk of US trends, almost all companies are so flexible, and they're saying you don't have to move here. Like if you're living in East Coast in New York area, you don't have to move to San Francisco Bay Area to work. You could still work from home the way you feel like, the way it's because like the way global trends are shifting, they're shifting from presence to performance. Like if I have to perform, if I am committed to perform, I will perform whether I'm sitting in front of you or if I'm not sitting in front of you. Like it could be virtual work, like I am touching base with you maybe once a day or something. And that's how exactly we are working. Like some of the interesting work that we have been doing is like a Silicon Valley, California based company. and the backend operations are in Philippines, and the company provides virtual assistants. So we placed 305 virtual assistants in US businesses in the US with excellent feedback everywhere in those businesses and startups. Because like, could there be people in absolutely on the far east of the world of the globe working with all the way towards the west, which is the Pacific coast of US? Can they do that? Absolutely, why not? Like, they're just aligning the timings and productivity, doing everything with their performance, not with the presence. Like, the presence doesn't count. Like, even if I'm with you and my mind and heart is not with you, it doesn't really matter. So definitely a lot of productivity can be achieved by doing virtual work. And if any company, any business or any startup is not actually getting the leverage of that virtual work, I think that they're losing on productivity, they're losing on getting a better return on investment. Everyone, especially all businesses and startups, must be using the virtual work.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you for that, because yes, a lot of virtual things are happening and it has changed the whole ecosystem. I have an interesting question here on Slido, and it says that why do we need to onboard coaches, and what is the unique thing that we can't get from other sources? Because there is a load of information on internet today. So why
Yes.
why why does one need the coach and pay for that? So what's your insight on it?
That's a very good question, because I was asking, or I was having a similar conversation with my coach. And I said that everything that you're telling me, I know that already. And he was saying, Raheel, it's not about knowing, it's about doing. Knowing is just this level, and the next level is doing. And once you keep doing it consistently, then you become what you want to become. Knowing is free. It's an information age. One click in Google, one click in YouTube, everyone has everything. Does that give them clarity? No. Like, there's a flood of information. They would not know what to do, because it's not about knowing, it's about doing. Like, I had to go out, learn from the people in the industry, do that work. So that's how working with coaches gets us out of the limitations that we had, especially like in regards to if I can share the slide again, share screen. Okay. Of
Yes,
the
sure, please.
window. Okay, perfect. Thank you. Awesome. So and I get this question a lot of times. These the startup founder or the business owners is already the subject matter expert of what they're doing, but they're doing what they're doing. However, working with a coach, especially with a business coach, they could get on a business plan that they may not have an idea of. They will get the other perspective, like how to position their product or service in the market, like how to do that marketing part. Like, it's not about knowing. Knowing is free, knowing is everywhere. It gets to, are we doing that or not? In every weekly meeting, once we are meeting, we are actually getting things to work, we are getting some result. Did we do what we committed to do? Yes or no? Are and then that's how, like, all of these dimensions, they're interconnected with each other. Like, marketing connecting with sales, like how many leads did actually come in for your startup? Like, how many leads did we actually close? What's our revenue at this point in time? How many are actually there? This requires that hand holding to get the work done. It's not about knowing, it's about doing that. So doing that is the hand holding and the support that we get in business plan, market positioning, marketing, sales, operations, finance, and customer success. With a lot of those mindset and strategies, like small examples would be a business owner that I'd been working with. And the person said that, yes, Raheel, I understand. I should be leveraging out on my team more often. However, like, you and I, we have talked so many times about the same thing again and again. And we're not moving ahead because, in my mind, I have a limitation. If I share all these numbers, we're $1 million business. If I share this information, would like these leads or that confidentiality part, would that go away? Like I have my own mindset, like in terms of how much to trust someone. I said absolutely, why not? This is the best, the NDA, the non-disclosure agreement that we have. Let's get this signed with all the team members who are working with you. Let's trust them. Like every relationship comes with a trust. So let's trust, let's get over that hump of that mindset, get some strategies here connected, and let's get some work done. So we get the work done, and that's how we get the results. Some of the examples would be a brand new business we started in Silicon Valley. 3 months. 3 months we closed $100,000 in sales. Right now the business is at $70,000 monthly revenue. And there's a lot of other businesses in which we did the hand holding to cross the $1 million line. So that is something that we get by working with someone, by getting the actual work done, not about the knowing part, doing the part.
Yeah, thank you for answering this question, because yes, there is a lot of information on the internet, but that same information can be a bit confusing at times, like what to choose not from. So priorities right here matters a lot. Yeah, so I have another question on Slido, and it says that startup investors in Pakistan are reluctant to invest in idea stage startups, like the one who are in the idea stages. And so, how does one go about building a quality product without seed investment?
Right. So in that case, with a lot of startup founders, once I'm working with them, and the questions go in this sequence. I ask them, okay, you're the one who is working on it. Like, how many months you have been working on this idea? And the person would say, he or she would say, oh, I've been working on it for 3 months. And I would ask, does your family know about it? They would say, I want to share with my family, or I want to share with my relatives after I get some results, after I have some traction. I would say, please, we need to connect with them today. We need, if they are not on board, we won't be able to do that, because like in terms, so these are actually, so the answer to exactly the question that was asked, the answer would be connect with friends and family right away. If they believe in your idea, because they have trust with you, right? You have a relationship with them, they trust you. Whatever happens, they trust you. So in that case, if your idea and your trust is to the level, absolutely they'll be able to pull up the money for you to get your MVP done, like your MVP. Then you could showcase that to the investors, to the other people. Like it's an idea stage. Ideas are ideas. How a VC will believe in your idea if you come with a long history of results. That's why many of the time, like ideas are really amazing, but ideas are dime a dozen, right? There are a lot of ideas that people come in. That ideas, how do we get those ideas to execution part? People want to work with people who have shown some results in the past. And is that okay? Absolutely, why not? So if you have done, you have shown some amazing results in your university, in your industry, the work that you've been doing, your relatives, family, friends, they will say, no problem. How much time, how much money do you need? Here you go. So that's how I would approach it. That's how I actually approached it for establishing my own business. So that, did I go over? So absolutely, there were a lot of friends that I was helping, and I was helping them initially, like because I was having a job and I was doing the coaching on the side. It got to a point with the friends. I said, are you getting the results that you're looking for with the coach? And they said yes. I said, would you mind to pay me to get that work done, because I really love this. I don't want to be in a situation in which there are a lot of people I've met with in my life who would say, oh, by the way, this is my job and this is something I love. This is my passion. This is what I love for my passion, but I have to do the job to put the food on the table for the family. That is something I would say we must combine our heart with mind, put that in one direction, talk to our family and friends, connect, show our product and idea to them, get the money from them so that they believe in you and you'll be delivering some results to them. Have your product completed, or contacting the accelerators, incubators. A lot of other people would be able to support too. If the idea is really amazing and if we have some skin in the game and we are here to show some results.
Yeah, so it means that a person showing some results in the past can get the investment from the connections and the network easily.
Absolutely. Thank you, Sabha. You're really amazing in consolidating parts. So it's a great teamwork going on.
Yeah, so we have also another interesting question. It says that early stage startups find it very hard to find committed people. Like, what's your advice on finding top talent to design and build software products that innovate and grow?
Right. That's a very good question. We went through those and helping, like doing handholding with a lot of startups in that stage too. Like when I connected, I'd been working with a lot of startups. When I connected with my friends in MIT Club of Northern California, and they said, Raheel, you're working on a startup. I said, yes, I'm working with a friend of mine on a startup. They will ask me, where's your co-founder's agreement? I said, what's the co-founder's agreement? Like I'm talking about a few years back. They said, watch out. The startup is also a way of getting some free work done. Like people in the name of startup, they can get some good work done. If that is the case, like, and if we believe in each other, if we are working together as co-founders, we should not hesitate in signing that co-founders agreement that what actually we are trying to do. Do we believe in each other? If we believe in the team and we want to get some great work done with the team, what's the hesitation in writing and signing that out? Because right now we are in the startup stage. We don't have the product. Maybe we do not have the service. We are getting together, getting some that free work done together to a level of passion so that we can get that marketable. We can put that, place that, position that in the industry and get paid for it. Right now, the revenue has not come in. Then having those agreements, getting top talent with you, that should be easy because like if I am a co-founder and I want to get top talent, I am signing something with them too. Because like the people who believe in us before we have become a hero, they are the people. Because they believed in us before we had something tangible in our hand. And absolutely, we should value them too, and they should value us too. So that's how I would approach as a startup founder, connecting top talent, getting them on board, getting work with them, and doing some amazing work. If we don't have the money to pay them, there could be so many other ways of compensation, but we should not be hesitating in attracting them and getting something signed with them. Does that answer the question?
Yes, it surely answers the question. And I want to ask a question that, like, even when it comes to me and a lot of young folks around me, they want to do multiple things at one point. Like they're passionate about three things, so they pick and choose and they say that I want to invest in this and go about it for a bit of time and see what the results are. So what would you suggest for people like them who are doing multiple businesses at the time? So what's the management trick? Because you have been like coaching multiple startups at the same time. So and
Yes.
they have kind of different domains. Their attractions are different at the time.
Yes.
So what is the management trick that you would like to have for startups to have?
Absolutely. Thank you, Sabha. What I would like to share is that if I am Sabha, I will try to focus on maybe one, two, not too many. Like in terms of probably max would be three, because like I'm having a full-time job, and maybe along with that full-time job, I'm working on a startup too. Is that possible? Yes, it's possible. Like I have a lot of energy and talent and passion to put in, so that's amazing. However, if my engagements become like too short, the timeline is a very important factor. Like I've been working here with a lot of executives in Silicon Valley, and I asked them, once you look at the resume or once you look at a LinkedIn profile, what do you look for? What's the number one thing that you're looking for? And they tell me they are looking for passion. It's not skill, it's not experience. They're looking for passion. If I'm passionate about something, I will either find a way or make one. I will go through the training. I will get that commitment, get the work done, I can learn a new language, I can learn anything that I would feel like, because number one, my emotions are there, I'm passionate in that area, right? However, like for the very short stints that we have, like if these are internships for 4 months, then that's okay. Then if I'm on the as a candidate, I can explain that I was going through a university program and I was having some short stints, and these are the multiple different internships I have done. And I did those in like 5 different domains, because I was testing those out, that which are the areas that I really enjoyed and I'm really passionate about. So that's how you see all these different experiences on my resume, and that's fine on my profile, and that's streamlined, no problem. However, like if I'm leaving a job, or if I'm hopping a lot of different positions, I think sticking somewhere for some time would be helpful for me. Like in Silicon Valley, the criteria that they have, like these top companies, they would say like if somebody has done 2 years in one of the top company, they have done their due diligence. That's really fair. And in terms of like it would be if it would be very short stints, like 6 months, other than internship, then they might stand out, that like whether can I sustain or not, and provide some long-term results. Does that answer your question?
Yes, it surely answers my question. But here's a question from my end at this point, because I myself find myself like passionate on multiple things, and then I need to
Yes.
prioritize. Like I have to do this, and leave things aside, other things aside for a while. But then after some time, you find the same thing a bit boring, and you're
Yes.
like, I need to leave this and do something else. So
Yes.
what would you suggest to people like these, like who try to
Absolutely.
be multi-potentialite and do
Yes.
multiple things at the same time?
Absolutely. And that's something really outstanding that you have. Sabah, so let me ask you, are you average? No.
I try to do my best in
You
both.
are outstanding. You're outstanding, right? So does absolutely, you have to be multi-potentialite. So absolutely no question about it. In that case, however, like if I get to the execution part, and if I have the limelight on me and I have to deliver, in that situation, if I leave, then it's gonna create a bad execution on my part. Like if I committed for something to be doing, if my commitment was 6 months, absolutely that'll be awesome. If my commitment was to carry this through for 1 year or 2 years or 4 years, absolutely I must deliver my results. And in terms of, then I think that I will need some coaching on my part to how to keep my passion at the same point, or execute, or put the, because like if there are so many different ideas, and then after some time, if a new idea attracts myself, then that's okay, being multi-potentialite. However, people also track us with the results that we have created, the results we have delivered in the past. So a lot of I will share a personality style text test with you. So that's how we work with the co-founders, like in terms of, and we go through like literally everyone. I have a lot of blind spots. Like a lot of people, that's how we find our growth areas and work on them, and that's how we become outstanding, right?
Yeah. So if I ask you, like managing different tasks at the same time, what would be the mantra to be productive in it, to be highly productive in it? Like since you have been doing it for a long time.
Yes, so absolutely, those multiple tasks would be. This is what I have found. What's the magic number? Is three. So if I have a long list in front of me and a lot of different things I want to accomplish, absolutely I can do those. But my humble suggestion would be 3 things at a time. Because if I have a huge list, like like a lot of multiple tasks that I want to accomplish, like that gets me to that perfectionist nature, that I want to do a lot of things, and then I get overwhelmed, and then I look at that, and then I would say, oh my god, I don't think I can do those. And then it gets into that mindset, kind of situation with the execution. So three things at a time that I want to get done for that particular day, for that particular meeting or the time, like, and literally cross them off, like get those done like one by one, focusing on the important versus the urgent part. The urgency would definitely prevail, tries to prevail over the importance, but getting those completed. I think that's how multiple tasks at the same time would be helpful, being more productive while still enjoying what we are doing. Like having that enjoyment and having those emotions of, like, once the fun becomes work and work becomes fun, then we sustain, we go way ahead as compared to others. So that's how I've been approaching.
Yeah, I totally agree that fun part is really important when it comes to work, because we are doing the same. We are trying to have the same community over here at Work Nation, at co-working spaces. The major important thing is to have fun, and all the community comes up and they create an environment where work seems more like fun. So yeah, it's important.
Exactly.
And yeah. So I would also like to ask you that since a lot of things are changing and technology is coming in and things are a bit going technical, a lot of jobs are being replaced. So how do you see the future in terms of the technology that is coming in?
The future in terms of technology would definitely be along the same lines, the way things have been going, especially like if we talk of the Pakistani startup ecosystem. So a lot of those amazing things which were not happening before, they're happening now, like in regards to the way people are ordering, the way people are consuming stuff, the way people are approaching, the way kids are learning. So in terms of a lot of those technologies, so definitely there would definitely be more and more innovative technologies coming in. My point would be connect. Yeah, something. Go ahead. You wanted to share something, Sabah?
No, it's fine. You can continue.
Awesome. So I think that's how the future looks like, and that's how it would be. Um, like a lot of these startups and businesses connecting with innovating technologies and getting some amazing work done, especially in Pakistan, like in terms of, so a lot of positive things happening with the people. It's all about the people, like the new generation, the way they are so passionate getting some excellent work completed, the way they're approaching. So definitely the future looks very bright.
Yeah, so it's been a fun hour with you, and I just saw that we are up our time. The best thing about such conversations is that we don't know when the time is over. But I would like to have your final thoughts over here. That what would be your final thoughts after this conversation, and then we can end this conversation on that note.
Absolutely, Sabah. That'll be awesome. If I have to share the final note, that would be one of the discussion that we were having earlier. Find your passion, get that to the level of effectiveness, so that people tell you that you're really awesome doing that. And that is something that really helped me in that particular time once you were doing that. And the third one would be to make it sustainable, so that we don't have a job on the side and a passion on the side. I think it would be very ideal, the way I've been helping a lot of startups and businesses, like if those align in one direction, if the mind and heart aligns with each other, like we have to align our talent of mind with the passion of heart, and if they're aligned, they go way ahead. So that would be my final message, like find your passion, get that to effectiveness, and then push through that sustainability part, make a profession out of it, and then you would be going way ahead and you'll be really really enjoying that fun work.
Yeah, so enjoying the journey from passion to profession is really important over here.
Awesome.
Yeah. So, well, thank you so much, Raheel, for this conversation. I personally enjoyed it very much, and I hope that our audience did that too. and it was a very productive conversation for me personally. And I would like to end the conversation here with leaving a note about workspace that I am in, and worknation.space is a co-working space located in Lahore, which welcomes people from industry, having freelancers, startups, and digital people that are working in the digital era. So we would love to welcome people over here, and I would also like to thank our collaborators, Ijad Labs, Startup Grind, and especially Global Pakistan Tech Summit, under which this conversation happened, and I got to learn a lot from you. So yeah, thank you for joining in, Raheel.
Thank you very much, Sabah. Thank you, Umar. Thank you, all the Global Pakistan Tech Summit team. Thank you, everyone. You've been a wonderful audience.
Thank you.